I think placemaking is really at the heart of our strategy, all the way from Marc Benioff down into the organization. We really value place.
Today, I'm joined by Relina Bulchandani, EVP of Real Estate and Workplace Services at Salesforce. Relina joins us with over 20 years of experience working at organizations like Google, Cisco, and today, Salesforce. Welcome, Relina, to Salesforce Tower, Sydney.
Thank you, Leandro. It's wonderful to be here. Love Sydney. So excited to spend some time with you, and it's great to be back here.
How do you get into a role and become an EVP of Real Estate and Workplace Services? Can you explain that to the audience? What does that mean?
Firstly, I love what I do. It doesn't feel like a job, but like everything in life, it feels a little bit like a jungle gym versus like this career ladder for me, where I've spent a lot of my career on people, place, and technology. My entire career has been on this convergence of kind of technology and the real estate industry. Spent time also at Cisco on cities and placemaking and the role of the network in cities. Moved on to Google, which was very much about thinking about the different lines of business. So spent time at Google Cloud under two different CEOs, very different care about. So we had Diane Green, founder of VMware, really cared about the engineer experience when they walked through the doors. And then you had Thomas Kurian, came from Oracle, the other CEO I work for, very focused after 26 years at Oracle about getting profitable.
Yes.
So different care abouts. I grew up in India, and my family is a combination of fashion and construction. Two different industries, but I've always loved design. And it's all come together really nicely, I have to say, at Salesforce, which really values place.
At Salesforce, we have 33 countries that we support.
Yes.
98 offices. How do you bring placemaking into that and that sense for maybe not the engineer experience, it's the whole employee experience at Salesforce?
Yes.
We definitely have engineers, but we also have marketers. We've got people in sales. How do you bring that?
Yes. So firstly, Leandro, very exciting month for me. We hit 100 offices today.
Oh, wow. My number's outdated. Look at that. Better update that.
We just opened in Jakarta last week or the week before. So very exciting times, right? And I think placemaking is kind of at the core of our real estate strategy. And this started with our CEO, Marc Benioff, right? He spent time with us on what we call our covenants of real estate. We want to be in core CBDs. We want to support our communities. We have a responsibility too. So if for employees, for fitness and food, they actually go into the local communities. We are close to incredible transit, right? So we want folks to be sustainable, which is one of our core values. And when I think of placemaking, you can design the most beautiful spaces in the world with the best technology, but you need employees to come in and have this really incredible, rich return on experience when they come in. What does that mean? They connect with the right folks. I call it find your peeps. If you and I come in and we're on different floors, we
may not have come in at all.
Yes, you're spot on. But finding your people really fast, easy and frictionless experiences. Your technology is available to you. You can quickly get to whether it's programming or hosting a customer. So I think placemaking is really at the heart of our strategy, all the way from Marc Benioff down into the organization. We really value place. Place matters, innovation matters. Our future is also tied to the future of cities. And that's where the placemaking comes together.
So you mentioned that, coming in, being part of the community. Now, it's clearly part of our values.
Yes.
Is that a little unique, or do you think that's something that other organizations could pick up in that you don't have to put everything in your office? And a big part of our value is ensuring that our community grows with us as well. Can you unpack that a little bit?
So I'm based in California, in the heart of Silicon Valley. And a lot of tech companies really feel that you have to provide everything for the employees, right? They bring it all in. And that's a strategy. It works for a lot of folks. The number one thing employees asked us for was connection, the ability to travel and connect to each other. So I think we do have this fundamental role in our CBDs, in our cities, as employers, as large tech companies, to give back, to engage. And I'm seeing other companies also moving in this direction. So it's kind of this little inflection point, I think.
What I like about that is, and Marc talks about our CEO doing well and doing good, because there's no point if you're becoming successful as a company, if your community around you is not. And I think that's a really good way to do it. And I agree. When I was in San Francisco, that was the mentality of the campus, more like a university.
Yes.
But being part of a city where you do want the city center to be thriving, it's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
Now, the other item you said was rich return on experience?
Yes.
I hadn't heard that one before. And I think it goes well into this time we're in now, which is we have during COVID had a lot of remote.
Yes.
Then there was a lot of, hybrid, flexible, and then there's now some companies that are coming in more often. How do you see that playing out? Obviously, we've taken some new approaches. Maybe you could explain those and what you're hearing from the industry.
So Salesforce has always been a hybrid company, right? We spend a lot of time with our customers. We're out in the field. And I think what I really value about our strategy, which we've been incredibly thoughtful about, is the employee and employee choice and flexibility is at the heart of the strategy to begin with. Then we looked at the jobs to be done and the rhythm of the business. So different functions need different things. So for tech and product, it's about this intentional gathering. I've got scrums, I've got release planning, I've got to bring folks together. And my mantra for them is let's get the right space at the right time for what they're trying to do. For sales and other teams, it might make sense to come in more often, learn from each other, right? And there's this serendipitous moments of innovation that happen when you're co-located. And that's what's so exciting about Salesforce, right? We've got our amazing buildings, we've got our towers, we've got Ohana villages, 3 floors dedicated, not just to employees, but to customers, to our communities, to nonprofits. All are welcome to experience this.
So tell us a little bit about what the team's been bringing to make that experience more frictionless, bringing in technology, that tech stack. Can you, uncover a little bit of the secrets there?
We're really trying to be thoughtful right now on what I'm calling predictive utilization. So using AI, using other tools to really think about kind of what's the demand for these spaces and then what's our supply. So I gave the examples of tech teams coming in for scrums and release planning. So for them, what I'm trying to do is kind of an office in a box where they can get seats, they can get conference room space, they can get great catering, frictionless, easy. Then I'm also focusing on using some of our incredible technology. So one of my projects right now, which I'm really excited about, it's one of our clouds at Salesforce, Service Cloud. Because I do think the future for me is employees engaging with us. And there's a very easy way to get around this, right? 70% of their questions.
Repeatable.
You're spot on. Commoditized, repeatable. Can we use AI? Can we use some of our Einstein recommendations? Can we combine with Service Cloud where 75% are taken care of? I need to reset this password. I can't enter this room. I can't do this certain level of work. And then that 25% for my employees and my team to be really productive with AI for better experiences. And it's not just the day-to-day planning of spaces. That's kind of phase 1 for me. It's the future is planning portfolios for corporate real estate, right? Which markets should we be in? What kind of a tech, not just a tech stack, real estate stack do we need to be successful there?
Yes.
And that's
in this
where,
environment,
right?
Yes.
So I think that's where AI is going to be a game changer. Also, we've got a tool called Ask Concierge where we just have questions. Hey, Leandro's coming from Sydney to San Francisco. It's very engaged with your day-to-day work and making you even more productive when you travel, and then giving up your assets in Sydney for me to use the portfolio more productively.
Most people wouldn't think the traditional workplace service team would have to think so much about technology, but just the examples you've given are pretty much what a CIO would be thinking about, right? And I love that predictive utilization because it's an asset for you, right?
Absolutely.
When you were talking about it, was almost like a supply chain that you're talking about there.
And getting it right. But I love what you said about it sounds like the CIO, because one of my key care abouts is really thinking about people, place, and technology for amazing employee experience. So working with the CIO, working with the chief people officer, myself, all 3 of us own aspects of employee experience. So I see it like a Venn diagram. And that centerpiece is really incredible employee experience. And I think leaders need to be thinking about that, right?
And now maybe zooming out a little further, what's next? Like, so you mentioned some of the things that are you're working on right now. Anything else that's down the horizon that might be a little bit further out for you?
What's further out for us is really thinking about our design and our construction and our delivery teams. And how is AI going to disrupt that industry? It's coming. We spend a lot of time with architects on our design and just really thinking about, can we be more flexible and adaptable, right? Because real estate is very static, long-term investment. sits on the balance sheet, needs to get a lot of approvals. I want to take a step back and have a team thinking about not just the innovation at the desktop in the workplace, but how do we really impact the industry? I think there's tremendous potential for the construction industry.
Yes.
Right? There's still bricks and mortar. Someone needs to lay it. But I think in the design, in the actual execution, the management of it, right? I think that's super exciting for us.
So look, we have an APAC
Yeah.
audience. We have a
Yes.
C-suite audience. They don't all have the privilege of an amazing team like yours. So any advice you would give for them?
Leading with technology and data has to be on the forefront. You've really got to be thoughtful and thinking about it. It's a multi-year, multi-phase journey. Really having a roadmap, being able to hold multiple polarities. You've got to navigate ambiguity. You've got to show results. And the way I think through it is I'm not going to get everything right, but I'm going to dive in and do some things and really taking a global lens on the high talent hubs in the world, right? There are a lot of high talent, low cost hubs. There's a lot of innovation coming from other parts of the world. So really get out there, be curious, spend time with other folks, get into other regions. Leandro, most of my learning comes when I travel. It's really spending time with folks in region, seeing the innovation, commit to technology, know 3 out of 5 things are going to go great. And some you're going to show your team it's okay to fail fast, to learn, to iterate. And I think partnership's really important. Really, I feel very blessed at Salesforce. We have great internal, our CIO org is really strong. So we're customer zero for a lot of things. And then I'm showing my peers what I'm doing. They're like, wow, this is cool.
And we partner a lot, right?
Yeah,
We were just
absolutely.
talking about that earlier with, the capabilities that you give the marketing team to be able to showcase to our customers, bring the things we do in our events to our building and make this an extension of our brand. Like, I haven't seen this before at any other organization. I think more organizations, not giving away all the secrets, but they should probably, our marketers out there should be looking to how they can maximize that. When you look back and full circle to where you started, you've worked for different leaders before. How would you like to measure your success, going forward? Is there something that would help you say, yes, we achieved it?
We have been on a journey of transformation, and it's just been incredible how my team has been able to hold, like I talked about, employee experience and operational excellence to really deliver results for the company. But it's every person you engage with that they had a meaningful career. They learned, they grew, they're doing work that we spend a lot of time at work.
Yes.
You got to enjoy it.
Well, I want to compliment. I think you're on that journey. I love the giving back to the community as well. That's a big part of our values.
Yes.
We've got an amazing partnership and I'm noticing the difference. So thank you for visiting us in region, having an amazing team and for spending time with us to share with our audience here.
Great.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Relina.
Leandro. Really enjoy this chat.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.